So now I have created the default task sequence and tested it. I will duplicate it several times and then edit these duplicates to do particular steps that I know work in the default. What are these steps going to be? Well, the first is to format the drive only. During testing I will create a reference machine several times. It'd be good practice to wipe it clean each time before starting. Trying to run an install and capture on a machine that has been part built can have unpredictable results, especially post-failure. So it's good to have the ability to wipe a hard drive clean. The second is just before the capture phase, I will install a pause. I should say from the outset that pausing and making changes can be considered as departing from common best practice. I only do this A, to know that I can, and B, to make a very small change to the wireless detection and connection priority when I'm using a particular laptop. All components and applications, where possible, should be included as part of the build by installing additional components and applications. But that is for part 2. Here I am just aiming for the basics. I also want to include this as part of my demonstration because it hints as to how all sorts of customs actions can be achieved and the underlying power of the MDT and scripts. But no, as promised, I will not be writing any scripts to do this. The third will be to add another pause in the WinPE process to allow me to use the log file reader that I will add to troubleshoot WinPE errors. It is possible to press F8, the task sequence is running, and get the log files this way, but troubleshooting I've often found it more precise to actually invoke the pause that you can advance and retard under your control. I will also copy the rtfm as well, just so that I have a copy to play around with in my work area, rather than risk using or corrupting or contaminating my known good rtfm. So I need to think about suitable names for these tasks. This needs a little thought because the 16-character field task ID will be the folder name where the task sequence components are placed, and I want to easily be able to identify the folders in the deployment share. So I will call mine format only, pause before cap, PE pause, and raw rtfm. So now I will create some dummy task sequences, making sure I have drilled down to my lab. I will do new task sequence. I will give it a task ID, so this will be my folder name. And I will give it some suitable text that will appear in the Solution Accelerator wizard. Choose Next. Make it a standard class custom task sequence, so I don't have to worry about adding operating systems to it. Finish. The next one, new task sequence, task ID, pause before cap. Same. And I can go on to do the rest later, but rather than run this video further in silence, I'll just pause it now. I'm sure you get the drift of how it's going on.